Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. In this video, we're going to learn how to create Airtable record on Razorpay payment. So I am an owner of a fashion apparel store, and using Razorpay, I collect the payments from my customers who purchases the products that I sell. And in Airtable, I manage the record of my payment details. Here what I want is that as soon as beneath the customer, a new payment is going to be done using Razorpay, and we are going to capture the payment details. I want to create the record of the payment details in my Airtable. Now creating this record manually after the new order is placed is very time consuming. So what I've done is I've simply automated this entire process with the help of Pabbly Connect, which is an amazing automation and integration software. And here in this automation, I'm going to build the connection between Razorpay and Airtable with the help of it. So if you also want to learn about this amazing automation process step by step, for that let me take you to my screen. In this video, we're going to learn how to create Airtable record on Razorpay payment. So as an owner of a fashion apparel business, I use Razorpay to process payments seamlessly from my online store from my customers. And I also use Airtable to manage and organize my customers and orders details in one place. So by integrating Razorpay with Airtable, every time a new purchase by the customer is going to be done using Razorpay, automatically the record of order details is going to be created in my Airtable, allowing me to easily track transactional details and keep my records up to date without any manual efforts. And I'm going to create this amazing automation between Razorpay and Airtable with the help of Pabbly Connect. So on the screen you can see the website of Pabbly Connect, that is pabbly.com/connect. After browsing this website, we need to sign into our Pabbly Connect account. But if you're a new user, you can sign up for free and get 100 free tasks every month. So as I'm an existing user, I'm going to sign into my Pabbly Connect account. After signing in, you can see the all Pabbly apps window in front of you, in which you can see all the products that Pabbly provides, from which we're going to select Pabbly Connect by clicking on this Access Now button right here. Then Pabbly Connect's dashboard is going to appear in front of you. In order to start an automation process in Pabbly Connect, we need to create a workflow. For that, click on this top right corner button right here that says Create Workflow. A dialog box is then going to appear in front of you, which is asking for the workflow name and for us to select a folder. So for the name of my workflow, I'm going to give it as Create Airtable Record on Razorpay Payment. So this is the name that I want to give to my workflow, okay? After that, it is asking for us to select a folder. So on the left side of my screen, you can see I've created multiple folders in my Pabbly Connect account, from which I'm going to select a specific folder in which I want to save this workflow in. For that, click on this drop down. These are the folders from which I'm going to select Razorpay Automations as the folder I want to save this workflow in. After giving the name to the workflow and selecting the folder, I'm going to click on this create button in order to create a workflow. A workflow is created in the name of Create Airtable Record on Razorpay Payment, and you can see that there are two windows in front of you. One says trigger, other says action. So what is trigger and action? Trigger and action are the two most important steps of our automation process, because our process depends on these two principles. Over here, trigger says when this happens and action says do this. That means what is action? Action is a response towards our trigger. In an automation process, there can be only one trigger step but multiple action steps. We are going to set up our trigger step first. And for the trigger application over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it as Razorpay. As with the help of Razorpay, I am collecting the payments from my customers who are purchasing my fashion apparel items. I want that as soon as an item is going to be purchased and a payment is going to be done using Razorpay, automatically the trigger over here should capture the response of that. And that is why for my trigger application, I have selected it as Razorpay. And for the trigger event, I'm going to select it as payment captured, okay? After selecting the trigger application and the event, you can see that Pabbly Connect has provided us with a webhook URL. Now using this unique webhook URL, we're going to build the connection between Razorpay and Pabbly Connect by following the steps given here below in the help desk one by one. So firstly, I'm going to copy this URL from here. After copying the URL, log into your Razorpay account that you want to connect to Pabbly Connect. Now, in order to connect this account to Pabbly Connect, from the left side of the panel, go to Accounts and Settings option right here. After landing towards Accounts and Settings, from this website and app settings, go to Webhook section right here. As you go to land on webhooks, you have to click on this Add New Webhook button. It is asking for the URL. For that, paste the webhook URL right here. For the secret, you can enter the dummy secret key according to your requirement. Over here, this is the email that is already selected. And for the action events over here, what we have to do is we have to select it as payment captured, as over here in the response you have to capture the response of the payment being done. So over here I'm going to select the action event as payment captured. After filling in all the required details, I'm going to click on this create webhook button. It says webhook successfully added. As now the webhook is added successfully, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my workflow and scroll down. It is saying waiting for webhook response. So now to check whether Razorpay is successfully connected to Pabbly Connect or not, what we are going to do is we are going to do the test payment with the help of Razorpay. So this is one of the products in the name of Elegant Red Evening Dress, and using this payment page I'm going to do the test payment in my Razorpay account. And after doing the test payment, I'm going to check whether Pabbly Connect captures the response of the test payment being done or not. And yes, my Razorpay account over here is on the test mode. You can see right over here in the similar manner that I've told you right now how you can connect your Razorpay account. You can similarly connect your live account to Pabbly Connect in that same manner only. Okay, so this is a test account, so the payment that I'm going to do is going to be the test payment as well. So now let us do the test payment. I'm going to do the test payment for this product right over here. This is the page URL. I'm going to copy this link from here, open this link in a new tab right over here, and now what I'm going to do is this is the payment page. We are now going to do the test payment. The amount comes over here as 4999. Over here it is asking for the first name of our customers. So for the first name over here I'm going to write it as new. For the last name over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write it as customer. For the email over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write it as new customer @pabblytudes.com. For the phone number over here, I'm going to enter a dummy mobile number right here. Then it is asking for the street address, so I'm going to enter a dummy street address right here. 123 New City. For the city over here, I'm going to enter it as Bhopal. For the state over here, I'm going to write it as Madhya Pradesh. For the country over here, I'm going to enter it as India. And for the pin code over here, I'm going to enter a dummy pin code right over here. Okay. After filling in all the required details, I'm going to click on this pay button right over here. As I'm going to do that, it is asking for the method of payment. I'm going to select it as card. Over here for the card number, I'm going to enter a dummy card number right here. For the expiry over here, I'm going to write in a dummy expiry, dummy details, all the dummy details. For the card holder's name over here, I'm going to write it as new customer. Okay. After filling in all the required details, I'm going to click on this continue button right over here. It is asking for the OTP. I'm going to enter the dummy OTP and click on this continue button. As we have done that, you can see it says payment is successful. As now the payment is done successfully using Razorpay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my workflow to check whether the response of this payment being done using Razorpay has been captured in a trigger or not. So this is my workflow. If I'm going to scroll down, and yes, you can see over here the response of the payment being done using Razorpay has been captured over here in our trigger. Okay, let us tally the response. We have received the order ID, street address is 123 New City, state is Madhya Pradesh, is it pin code, this is the phone number of our customer. The first name is new, last name is customer, email is newcustomer@pabblytudes.com, country as India, city as Bhopal, method is card. You can see right over here. This is the entity payment ID. This is the payment fee. You can see right over here with all the other details. As now we have the response of the payment being done using Razorpay has been captured in our trigger. This means that we have successfully created a connection between Razorpay and Pabbly Connect, and our trigger setup is done. After setting up our trigger step, we need to set up our action step. Now in my Razorpay account, I have created multiple payment pages. You can see right over here, and I collect the payments using all of the payment pages over here. Now what is going to happen that whenever the payment for any of the payment page is going to be done using Razorpay, this trigger is going to capture the response of the payments details. Okay, but what I want is this workflow should only be executed for this payment page that I've created in the name of Elegant Red Evening Dress. Whenever the payment for this page is going to be done, I want to create the record of that particular payment details over here in this table right here. I want to create the record for only this product right over here. Okay, I want to create a record for only this specific product in my Airtable right over here. Now in order to do that, we're going to set our action step, and for the action application, I'm going to select as filter by Pabbly. With the help of this amazing feature by Pabbly Connect, we can filter out the values according to our requirement. And for the action event, I'm going to select as filter values. Then I'm going to click on this connect button. Now over here, I have created multiple payment pages, and all the payment pages have their own unique prices. Okay, all the products have their own unique prices. So on the basis of the price, I'm going to filter out this value right over here. For the select label, I'm going to select the amount over here, as whenever the payment is going to be done, I'm going to select the amount from my previous response. So I've received the base amount right here. So now whenever the payment is going to be captured of any of the payment being done using any of the pages that I've created using Razorpay, the response is going to be captured in our trigger. Whenever in the response, the value, the amount of the payment is going to be equal to the amount, that is 4,999,000. This is the response over here. This is the amount, okay, 4,999,000. Whenever the payment amount is going to be equal to this value right over here, then only this workflow is going to be executed further after this filter step, okay. So I'm going to click on the save and send test request button to successfully add the filter. It says status success and condition is true. Now this workflow is only going to be executed on a condition that whenever a payment response is going to be captured in our trigger, the amount of it is going to be equal to this value, that is 4,999,000, then only this workflow is going to be further executed after this filter step, okay. As now we have added the filter, I want to create a record in my Airtable account of the Razorpay payments. So now as we have captured the payment details over here in our trigger and we have successfully added the filter, now I want to create a record of my payment details in my Airtable. Now for that, we're going to add another action step to this workflow. And for the action application over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it as Airtable right over here. And for the action event, I'm going to select as create record. Then I'm going to click on this connect button. A window is going to appear in front of you, on which click on add new connection, or else you can select the existing connection that you already have. Now it says connect with Airtable. Before clicking on this button, log into your Airtable account on a new tab. So this is my Airtable account and I'm going to connect this base in the name of payment details with Pabbly Connect. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, in order to connect, we're going to click on this button right here. It is asking for the access. Firstly, we need to select the base that we want to connect to Pabbly Connect. So I've created a base over here in the name of payment details. So what I'm going to do is, for the base, I'm going to select it as payment details right over here. And then it is asking for the grant access. I'm going to give the access to Pabbly Connect. As the same person, my data is perfectly saved with Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to click on this access button right here. As I'm going to do that, you can see we have successfully authorized Airtable to Pabbly Connect. After authorizing for the base name, I've already told you I've created a base in the name of payment details, and in this base I've created a table in the name of all payments. So as I want to create a record in this base payment details and table all payments, I'm going to select the respective details. For the base name, I'm going to select it as payment details, and for the table, I'm going to select as all payments. Okay. After selecting the base name and the table name, it is asking for the order ID, customer name, email, phone number, street address, city, state, country, pin code. So what are these fields? These are the same headers that I've created in my table. You can see right away: order ID, customer name, email, phone number, street address, city, state, country, pin code. Okay. And under these headers, I want to create a record of my payment details. So now in order to do that, what we are going to do is, for the data of these fields, we are going to map the data. What is mapping? Mapping means inserting data from the previous step. So we're going to insert the data from the previous step of this workflow. And how it works is that as soon as I'm going to click on it, these were the previous steps. And this is the step that is Razorpay payment captured. As I'm going to click on it, this is the same response that is captured in our previous step. And in this response, we have received our payment details. It is asking for the order ID. So if I'm going to search for the order ID, you can see right over here, we have received the order ID. And as I want to create the record of this payment details in my Airtable, so I'm going to select the data of the order ID from my previous response. Now, as I have selected the data from my previous response, what happens is the data is mapped. And as I have mapped the data has now become dynamic. That means now whenever a new response is going to be captured in our previous step, automatically the new data is going to be updated in place of this mapped data. Okay. Next, it is asking for the customer's name. So I'm going to search for the customer's name over here. And this is the name, first name, space the last name. I'm going to map the data. For the email address over here, I'm going to map the data of the email address that I've received right over here. For the phone number over here, I'm going to map the data of the phone number of my customer that I've received. Next, it is asking for the street address. So for the street address over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to map the data of the address that I've received right here. Okay. So this is the address. I'm going to map the data. For the city over here, I'm going to map the data of the city that I've received right over here. This is the city. I'm going to map the data. For the state over here, I'm going to map the data of the state that I've received right over here. For the country over here, I'm going to map the data of the country right here. This is the data. I'm going to map it. For the pin code over here, I'm going to map in the dummy pin code that I've in the response. I'm going to map the data. Okay. After filling in all the required details, it says enable typecasting. I'm going to select it as false right here. And then simply I'm going to click on this save and send test request button. As I've done that, we have received the records ID, which is a positive response. So now I'm going to open my Airtable account. So this is the table over here. I'm going to refresh this page from here. As I refresh the page, you can see the record of the order detail has been created in our Airtable. This is the order ID, name is new customer, email is newcustomer@pabblytudes.com with a dummy mobile number, street address as 123 New City, city is Bhopal, state over here comes as Madhya Pradesh, country is India, and the pin code is a dummy pin code. As now the record of the payment has been successfully created in my Airtable, this means that we have successfully created an automation between Razorpay and Airtable with the help of Pabbly Connect. So now to sum till now what we have done, I am an owner of a fashion apparel store, and using Razorpay, I collect the payments from my customers who purchases my product, and in Airtable, I create the record of my payment details. For the trigger, I've selected as Razorpay payment captured. Whenever a payment is going to be done by the customer as they're going to purchase any of the products that I sell, they're going to do the payment. Over here, the trigger is going to capture the response of the payment details. And using the payment details, using this action step, that is Airtable create record, a record of the payment details is going to be created in my Airtable. And with Pabbly Connect, in this manner, I've built a connection between these two applications. So this was it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Not just with these applications, you can create automation between multiple other applications with the help of Pabbly Connect. If you have any questions, you can contact us on support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can check the queries on forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, then you can check out this link. If you like this video, please do subscribe to our channel, hit on the like button, comment on if you have any questions or doubts, and please share this video.